once you have all of your outlines in, you want to go back in and balance things out with a little bit of pattern and texture. If you have some planking, you're going to want to put a little wood grain on. And you might also have decided to have marble tiles, so you put that indication in. And anything else that you need to do, the brick in our fireplace, a little bit of mortise in between. We all have carpet, so however you want to indicate your carpet. Now, I'm using a ballpoint pen for this stage because it's not the most important thing. It adds a lot of interest to your drawing and enlivens it, but the most important thing are the outer shapes of the elements. Now, I've started a few things. When I looked at my drawing, I decided that I really did need to emphasize this line on my draperies. Not the far one, that's emphasized by the outer line, but I did need to do that. And this became an ambiguous, what the heck is that thing? So I've started now to add a little bit of texture to it, as if it was the actual blind that it is. And I'm not using a ruler, but I probably could do it, but I'm going in very lightly. Remember, that's the most helpful thing about our ballpoint pen, is that we can work very lightly and build up very darkly. Now, I'm not doing anything in terms of shading, light and shade. We haven't done that in this drawing. We are just leaving it as a line drawing. This is meant to just be texture. Now, my carpet, I've done the very same thing. I've gone in with just my ballpoint pen. It doesn't have to be as thick and heavy a line as my my objects, my things, but it does need to break. I needed to break up this big blank space. That's what this did. It broke up that big blank ambiguous space. And I also have this, so that was helpful in describing this piece of metal that just had sprouts and sprouts of more pieces of metal occurring on it. Okay. Now, inside the fireplace, I've indicated a little bit about what the bricks would look like. I don't want to do too much detail in there, so I'm keeping it a little ambiguous. And also, if you remember, I had this almost looked like newspaper rolled up and into a fan in my fireplace. So I'm going to just add a few little indications here. My planking, my wood grain, I'm going to use the ballpoint pen for that. So in fact, I've used 3 weights of pen. The Sharpie, which was my thicker weight, and I used it sometimes twice, and my pigment liner that was much thinner, and then now the ballpoint pen, which is even thinner than that. And it adds, we don't have shading, we don't have marker or any other work on this, so the visual interest and emphasis is created by the use of these different line weights. And the carpet, I would just, and you let it taper off. This carpet, I'm planning to let it taper off out here, since it's the focus of it and the concentration of it is near the chaise. And then as it goes away from her, there's less and less. And it becomes bigger too, the pattern, so that helps you just let it disperse into nothing as it comes out. And what I'm trying to get across is that you have to keep your eye on what it is you're emphasizing in your drawing, and you have a choice, and you choose what it is that you're talking about, what you have to say, what you're trying to communicate. And what we're trying to say in this drawing is, for me anyway, this was a little reading alcove, a nice quiet spot, and something soft to sit on, soft draperies in the room, soft lighting. Now, the cushion for my chaise can have a pattern on it as well. So I wouldn't want to go in there with something dark to do this, but I might just put some stripes across it. it was a big solid shape. So I think it just helped to this might have, so I put a little bit of something to break up the shape of the books. This might have stems inside it. This might have pattern on it as well. But I think that's as far as I would go with adding any more pattern or texture.